Bella,
I'm
do
good.
you hire new drivers? Is it something you guys do, or do you basically go recruit elsewhere?
Typically, we hire our drivers ourselves.
Yeah, household good movers do that a lot because a lot of household good movers, they're not really hiring drivers, right? They're hiring movers that happen to drive. So
Yeah, we split it up into two sections. We have our local guys, and those guys, the regulations are a lot easier for us to get local drivers. And then we have a separate OTR side that hires our drivers to go down through the lower 48 and make those long runs.
gotcha. You want to hear something interesting, Bella? Like, because you just told me you have local drivers and over the road, right?
Yep.
You know how with the ELDs, if you've got local drivers and then you have a driver that goes over the road, I'm going to give you guys a little hypothetical that's kind of funny. Let's say we have 4 drivers, right? Keener, he's on the call. Me, I'm a driver. Derek's a driver, and so is Bella. And we all work for your company. Got it so far? 3 weeks out of a 30-day period, which would be 21 or 22 days. Now cancel 22 days, right? Not 21, 22 days or 23 days, something like that. I run local for our company. I'm a 150 air mile radius driver, let's say. I don't go real far. If you're a 150 air mile radius driver, you're exempt from logging. Then if I go 1 week into the lower 48 from Alaska, just a week, then I can run paper logs all the way to the continental US and back to Alaska if I do that in 7 or 8 day turns. Do you see? Because the other 22 days, I would be exempt from an ELD. So at the end of the day, I'm only running a logbook 8 or less days in a 30-day period. So think about that. Keener could go for 8 days over the road. I could go for 8 days over the road. Then Derek does 7. Then Bella does 7. None of us need an ELD to run all the way to Texas from Alaska, as long as we turn it in 8 days, because the rest of the month we're local. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, good to know, definitely.
And how I have some customers using this is the owners, right? Let's say Derek, right? You own what, 2 trucks, right?
Correct.
Let's say that you hired another driver with your 2 trucks so you could stay at home a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're 3 weeks, 22 days, you are in the office supporting your company at home, just running your business, invoicing, dispatching, etc. And 1 week, a month, but I don't want to use the word a month because it's 30 consecutive days. 1 week, Derek jumps in his truck and he drives all the way to California and back. Derek, you can run paper logs the entire trip in a brand new truck, right? Isn't that funny?
That's interesting.
But you understand why? Because the ELD exemptions say if you only need a log for 8 or less days, you don't have to have an ELD. So you want to hear another crazy part that I don't really see many companies do? The driver force is aging, yes? And if you get a driver that wants to retire from trucking, he's been working 60, 70 hours a week in 8 days forever. One of the hardest working people you ever meet. Would you agree?
I would.
If you put an ad in the paper, get this one. If you put an ad in the paper and said, looking for drivers 1 week a month, 7 or 8 day out, 22, 23 days off. Come back 7 or 8 days out, 22, 23 days off. You could get 1 truck and hire 4 guys. Yes. 3 weeks they're fishing. 1 week they're over the road. None of them need an ELD. Crazy, right?
It is.
So in a time where drivers are hard to recruit, imagine if you put an ad in the paper saying, looking for older drivers that want to work 1 week a month. Excellent pay. Now, you know how a driver's 70 hours in 8 days and then he has a restart? Well, if he's dedicated to that truck stops every 8 days for 34 hours. Yes. Well, if you did 7 or 8 day turns with guys and rotated them all, the truck wouldn't have to stop for 34 hours, would it? So now you're utilizing your asset a little more than you would have otherwise. Yes. So these are the things you ain't going to learn in no theory, right? These are the little tricks of the trade that you ain't going to learn reading FMCSA's website. You have to read between the lines to see how effective this can be. You know how many drivers would love nothing more than to run the country on paper logs? I just gave you the solution.
Did you learn something from that video? Then click on the button on your screen. Sign up for a free online event, especially for you truckers. I will show you how to lower your expenses, increase your profit, make your company DOT proof. I'll see you there.